Hello everybody, welcome back to the pYanodons playthrough. It's your ghost. And I've been busy playing around with trains and body parts. Oh, it's liberating though to get all this consolidated here. Let's go over it. I've been busy off screen doing a lot of little side projects here and there, so we're gonna do a little base review of what I have done, so you guys keep track of the base and the evolution of this mess. All right, so as you can see, got some filtering going on here. Lots of filtering. We also have a tank, and it's an LTN stop. Ooh, an LTN stop dropping stuff off. Interesting. Well, let's not get to this first. Let's talk about a few things I've done off screen. First off, trains. The ash coming out of these trains is a little bit more than a inserter can handle, so I put mini loaders in here. However, I found that the mini loader for some reason is only outputting on one side of the belt, so I might have to, I'm going to keep an eye on this. Whenever I catch a train over here, I'm going to look and see if it does anything different. The fix would be to put a second mini loader, filter mini loader in, and then do a kind of like a, well, what do you call this, what do you do? You have to make it into a belt, you know. Whoops, trying to hit the Q button or R button there. So that's how you get full side of the belt. If they're going to output one at a time on one side of the belt, well, there's not much I could do about it. Now, I don't know why it's doing that. It shouldn't be doing that, but there might be some behavior with the train in that it is going on one side of the belt. So what happens is it's slower to export the ash from the train, and I don't want that. That's why I have mini loaders. It also has its own belt coming all the way down to the ash train, or to the ash deposit here, which is the same thing, you know, same case for the power. As you can see, I grabbed some trains and the base is running a little bit, and, you know, I might have to do 2 per yellow belt on this. So we'll see when it's under load. I'll make that adjustment later. I added more turbines, so, you know, just in case. I got up to about 500,000 you know, watts there, half a gig. So, you know, power, as I'm adding more stuff, you got to look at your power, you know, circle back around. So I'm working on a little ash collection system here. We have the ash yard here, and these are going to be ash pickups, ash trash yard. I might move stuff around here. I'm not too sure yet how I'm going to configure it. So this is a drop off. This is obviously a collection. And then I doubled this because of the amount of ash I'm getting from the trains right now when they do run. The plan here is to have 2 trains go get ash from various locations and have 4 trains on the ready for ash, because we can use the ash for other things. And the rich clay to stone bricks recipe, I'm not abandoning that. I definitely want to try that out. We just don't have the infrastructure for it right now. We don't have the materials. So this will get us one step closer to using the rich clay, which is a good use of ash, believe it or, you know. I'd rather not do this and use it for stone bricks, you know, and other things. We are getting this flue gas here, or whatever this stuff is, and I think that's a resource for some other stuff later on. We can capture that here as well, but for now, it is what it is. So by having the ash, the ability to collect the ash, consolidate it, and then fan it out from here would be ideal, at least for now. So as you can see, I haven't put this one in because I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to do it. As you can see, the coke trains are running out over here. That's by design. If this doesn't run and that doesn't run, we have no coke from here, which is why we have backup systems here. So I've got 8,000 coke. Ooh, cool. Now, I added another tank, and I put a tank bleed off here. So we're bleeding off only 20% of 40,000. And then we're going to store 200,000 between these 2 tanks. I figure shale oil is quite an important resource, all things considered, because it does give us the coke, the hydrogen, and the light oil for fuel. So I did that over there and over here. I added this one. Look at this. There's, what is that? Almost 80,000 right here. and that's potential coke processing. And the reason this is backed up because of the anthracene oil, which is used for rubber. And then, as you remember over here, this build is dedicated to creosote. So when I do rail or green circuits, the creosote gets consumed, and that's how we're going to get the coke from here. And rubber is dedicated to this one, basically. So anything extra out of this is a bonus. And tar is pretty much a good resource. I added another coke build over here as a failsafe. Mainly what I'm looking to do is get more carbon dioxide too. So there are other ways to get carbon dioxide, but since I already had the build, might as well reproduce it here. And so, I figure, well, it's good to have the carbon dioxide, and this is prioritizing coke on this build, whereas this one is prioritizing the carbon dioxide. And it's running, look at that. This build here pushed me to do another raw coal yard, and I'm going to actually do another one right here when I get a chance, and I'll have it pop out over here. So I'm gonna curve up and have a 8-train yard of raw coal. Raw coal is a really rudimentary resource that we're gonna need. Oh, I fixed these yards. Finally, I figured it out. Just trial and error, dedicated combinator to the lamp, and that's what fixed it. For some reason, the LTN stops don't like the using one combinator to multiple stops. There might be some software going on here where the combinator and the lamp are acting, well, it could be the lamp and the combinator might be acting together, and because we have the signal, this red wire, now this is an input and this is an output, the combinator. So I can't understand why one combinator just blasting, it's like blasting a signal that this is a depot and it's ID 1. I don't understand why the lamp is having a problem, unless the lamp is doing something that I don't know. So when I decided to just pop the stupid combinator apart, or just do one combinator per lamp, it fixed the problem. And I went ahead and fixed all of the yards. The other thing is that because the way vanilla trains are, when they leave their destination and they're looking to come back to the depot, because all the depots are named the same, you could get a train that goes to there. You could get 2 trains pathing to the same stop, and so you do still need that enable train limit. The Reddit post I cited last time, all you gotta do is Google LTN depot trains going to the same I don't know, I can't remember the search I used, but I Googled that. Sometimes you'll think of it, oh, that's a good search. I'll go try that out and see if I can find my problem. And sure enough, somebody was having that same problem. I put that example of the yard, that little photo or image that I pulled from that Reddit post, and it was obvious. It's obvious a problem. And when vanilla came, the Factorio devs came up with this vanilla feature now. I think that will fix the problem. So that is all done. I updated all the yards with that. This is ripped out now. So all the acetylene is gone. I repurposed it, all the junk down here. I blew it up in a chest. I ore erased the ore patches because they look ugly and they're too small to tap anyway, but they served us well. So, rest in peace. I have this here as a backup measure here. I got 100,000 ash in here. It's not going anywhere because we're not running science. So I just put this in here to kind of mitigate this until I can get those ash trains into service. And then I'm going to start pulling this ash out of here. I'm going to pull this belt up. As you can see, it's running now. So this ash from the syngas processing here and this ash from the oxygen furnaces here, I'm going to pull out of here temporarily. Now, I don't want to use syngas for this. I could, because then that would generate coke for us, at that facility there. But I would much rather use like kerosene or gasoline. So the plan is to set up 2 of these, and one will be gasoline, one will be kerosene. We'll bring 2 trains in. LTN will handle that for us nicely, and we'll always have fuel either way, right? There's might be some other things I could do with combinators and all that, but I'll work on that later. So, but this is all going to come out, And as you can see, it's thinning out over here, which is nice. And, oh, look at that. We got a kerosene train on the way, baby. Check it out. There it goes. It's going to get some kerosene. Cool. Yeah, so all this is going to come out as well. We'll, you know, beef it up, make it better, make it pretty. You know, this is just our bootstrap to get trains. You know, remember, temporary things become permanent in Factorio, whether you like it or not. So, and I grabbed 2 trains, so that's why that's running. I cleaned up some stuff here. I made this nicer for now. I was just bored watching videos and cleaning some stuff up around here. And then I pulled out the rich clay processing because we don't have that here anymore. So I pulled up that. We don't have an answer for sand, so I'm burning it right now. The next project is going to be to get the trash train out of here and the iron oxide train. Well, basically this is going to come up, and I'm going to have a collection area for stone, sand, gravel, and iron oxide. And then we'll pull the iron oxide temporarily in here until we get the new iron build up and running, and we'll just pop in right there as opposed to having all this crazy belt and all this mess here. This will come out. Now, the other issue is here, we're kicking off a lot of gravel or stone here, and that's fine because I am taking care of that through here, and then that's going back through, and we're shooting it up in landfill here. So once we get the new iron build, I'm hoping to minimize the amount of stone that's kicking off of that, because I think that's a better. I don't know how much stone we're gonna kick out of it. Hopefully, we can repurpose it into sand casting at that point, so it's not so it'll be a net equal out. So what we're producing is what we're consuming. So we'll see how that works in the future. There, cleaned up this mess. We're burning off our biomass so we could get through that science. I didn't really have an answer for it yet because we didn't have all the, you know, I wanted to get more tech before I started messing around. So the fish, which we need for our trains, you know, the gearbox, you know, anything that uses a gearbox. So I have this meter pump here, and if our biomass drops, we have this backup system to give us biomass for now, as opposed to training it in from this new location that I'm at. So all that's cleaned up. I pulled the molten salt out of there. And this whole mess has been cleaned up. We had that, you know, train system and the recyclers here and all that mess coming out of the AUGS stuff here. The AUGS, what do you call it? Rendering. I still have this massive case here. I don't want to pull it up yet because it's going to change stuff, and, you know, it's better off you're better off leaving it alone. But I did do some cursed belts here because I had to get it to the new train system here that I set up. The blood is coming out of here. It's going up, and it's going to this tank, and then it's going back through to feed our animal sample build here. I set these to the recipe here is like, these are 100 times the amount needed for the gene lab recipe for the animal samples. So 500, 300, 300, 700, 100, and 300. So that's 100 times what this needs. So that's our stockpile there. And anything extra gets bled off, and LTN is now handling the trash, the extra. This one here is set up to ID2. I did that by design because I didn't want any LTN. No, I knew that I was going to have general trains zipping around in LTN, you know, shuffling things around. And I wanted to, you know, obviously design this area to be an autonomous cell. And so this really came in handy because the bones would have been picked up by the LTN network 1 if this wasn't 2. So that network separation is really helpful. So this is set to 500, as you can see there, the output signal. The first one is 500. So if we get 500 brains or guts or meat or whatever, the train will deploy and pick those up. And I learned a few things about LTN by doing all this crap. This arithmetic accommodator, we'll go over that in a second. In fact, we'll copy that right now. Let's copy the whole thing like that. Okay. So this is our meat collection area for the AUGS. I have another 2 set up, or 3. The one over by the fish is 1, or number number 1, 2, whatever. Now, look at this. Look at that. We're collecting some stuff. This is set, like I said, to 500 of anything. Okay, and that's one thing I learned about LTN. I'm really happy about this. I'm even more of a fan of LTN now. Okay, so when we make rubber, you know, because we need rubber for our inserters and all this other jazz, that when anything builds up to 500 here, the LTN train will pop by. It only grabs what is needed. I could just remove this thing here because I am doing the sort. So in order to minimize train travel and the amount of deployments that I'm going to have from the yards, I might just take this combinator out. And so if anything is over 500, just get it all out of here. Now, the other issue here, though, is that this could be running and it could keep the train here because of the inactivity counter that's on the train. And, you know, it's default. So I kind of like this idea of control of the trains. So this is duplicated down here as well. We have the same system. And like I said, the fish is also set up here. Let's paste this down so I could show you how that stop's going to work. Okay, there it is built. We'll go over this, how it's providing in a second. So here is the LTN empty train deployer to grab things and bring them here. So TSM can handle this. The problem is we're tying up trains at each build, or we're tying up, say, 2 to 4 or 1 or as many trains as we need to wait until something is ready to be picked up. LTN, we have the trains that are multi-purpose that will just go wherever they need to go based on the fact that we need to have something picked up or delivered. So the way I've kind of figured it out was, and I don't know if this is right, it seems like it works. It seems like this is the way you have to do it, I should say. We set the output signals to demand or request the items that we have here that we're going to sort. And so you have to have the disable warning message on, or else this is going to constantly go off because, hey, I don't have skin, I don't have chitin. I know it's chitin. I like calling it chitin. I don't have lard. I don't have meat. I don't have this. So we have to disable the warning messages. Now, this is what's great about LTN is that I can tell it I want maximum 4 trains to be deployed to this. So if any one of those builds has meat, like right now I have 2 that are actually working when I'm building, right? For rubber and for, rubber and the Vraux. Yeah, Vraux and, wait a minute. There's 2, a fish. So there's potentially at any given time 2 builds that could run. Well, I don't want to have one train go and then another train. I want to be able to get this stuff in and out, you know. So you want to set it to what your yard can handle, right? So I have 4 open slots here. You don't want to make it 5 because the train, if there's 4 trains here, the 5th train can't get out. So in order to force it to request on demand from the, when you have the items ready, you have to make this 1 because, this is going to be empty all the time. If there's a train that drops off here, I don't want any issues, So you make that 1, and if you read this here, it says required item shortage. So the minute 1 is short from 1,000, 999, it's going to be looking for this request to be solved. So I figured, well, we'll set it to 1,000, and let's set this to 1, 4 trains, good to go. The blood is another story, and that's why I pulled this other thing over here. So here is the requesting, or the providing. Now, this is where I screwed up. Now, first of all, this here is a dyslexic nightmare. Whoops. Because if you want to, let's say I have a tank, a train is fluid is 25,000. I want the train to deploy when I get down to 5,000. So what you have to do is set this to 20,000, and then you request 25. You have a minus 25 here, minus 25,000. You have a plus 20,000 here, which subtracts against that number. Okay, you say I want as much as 5 in this tank, is what you're saying, in whatever tank you have. And so this is the exact opposite. I want it to be always deploying. That's why you have to put a 1 here. And I tested this out, and it works. Okay, so what I was screwing up was, well, that threshold thing I had to get in my head because I'm dyslexic, right? And I'm not terrible dyslexic. I don't flip number. I flip things every so often, like I's and E's and stuff. Just normal human dyslexic, stuff. Now, what I was screwing up was I thought I had to put a signal in here because I'm thinking TSM, right? TSM, you have a combinator, however you set it up. You have to have a comparator. So you compare what's in the case or a tank to what, and then you bounce it again off of what the value you want. So if you want 1,000 fluid, you say, hey, or if you don't want to drop below 1,000, you say, hey, Mr. Train, bring me something. Bring me the fluid when it drops to 999. That's what I thought this was doing. I thought this combinator was sending information to here, after being processed. Well, that's not what's happening. And the documentation is not clear on this. Just be mindful of that. So the case and the combinator are sent to here. So it makes it much simpler. I was getting frustrated with this thing. So if anything in this case is over 500 or above, the light will go, hey, I have something. You can pick it up. And it's this. I thought I had to set the item up to tell the combinator what I have here. And that's what I was struggling with and having problems with. So in a sense, what I was doing was I was adding the signal to the case and the signal were adding together and sending it to the light, and it was like doubled. Or whatever it was. Like let's say I had 500 stone in there and I wanted 1,000, I thought, I want it to be 1,000. It was adding it up to 1,500. So it was skewing the number higher. And I was like, what's going on with this? The other problem I had was with the requesting. I did realize that the stack threshold was overriding this request threshold. This should be called request item threshold. This is request stack threshold. So again, you have a mod dev, he's doing a great job, but there's these little quirks that would help the user understand what's going on here. And the documentation does go over it, but it really should be request item threshold. And then the tooltip should say, if you want items, an exact amount, here, this is where you do it. If you want just stacks, this is what you do. Now, I'm an item thinker. I think I want this many items. I want this many items. I want this many items. I don't think stacks. So, but the stack threshold is okay because of the train. Now here's another problem. Trains change based on their cargo capacity because we're going to get better trains eventually sometime next year or 2070. And this would be nice to use, or this would be nice to use for trains, but the train's capacity is going to change. So I like the item threshold, request item threshold. So that's kind of what was goofing me up, was I was doing stack and item, and I'm thinking, what's going on? Why am I not getting the exact amount? Well, this is how you get an exact amount. I was using this and didn't realize it was overriding this one. So I was getting stacks. I'm like, I don't want a stack. I want 10. So that's good, and LTN's even better now. So getting back to this, so what happens is the case sends the information to the light. This tells the light anything in here that's 500, deploy a train. And I don't want more than one train, obviously, unless I have a stacker to hold it, and I don't for this case. Now, when it comes to fluids, the 500 is going to cause a train to come here a lot. So what I did is I hooked the tank to an arithmetic combinator. The arithmetic combinator is dividing the tank contents by 10, and so it's basically increasing the amount of fluid that's, well, it's taking the fluid amount So let's say there's 500 fluid. Well, now it's actually 50. So I'm trying to suppress the amount so that it doesn't call a train as much as what's going on. And I actually 10 is too low. So I might increase that to like 30 or some number. But you don't want it to be too high, because then you want it to be where the division is less than or equal to a full train car of fluid. So all I gotta do is take this 25. I think it would be 25 divided by 500. I think that's what I would have to do. Yeah. So if I took this tank value and divided it by 50, that would be the max train. By the time the train comes here, it would be a little more if it's running, consistently, obviously. So a train would come in here. There would be enough to fill the entire train up, and that would minimize the trips that this train is coming by. So I have to increase this by a factor of 5, and it should be good to go. So I think I'm pretty confident with LTN now after using it. And what it comes down to is you got to play with it. You got to break things. You got to, fix things. And then you start learning. You're like, oh, okay. And thanks to Lawrence Plays, he had a tutorial on LTN. And the one thing that I missed was that you don't have to, I had to review it. And then I realized, oh, I don't put a signal here. I just put a request threshold. Oh my God, that's what I've been doing wrong. So all the combinators have been fixed throughout the whole map, and that took a lot of time. All right, let's go over some of this stuff here real quick. We got to get on those warmer bricks today, so I want to work on that. So the overflow comes up here. We're going to get biomass, right? And the biomass is going to get chopped up. We're going to store it. We're going to have a train of biomass, because guess what we can do with biomass? We can make carbon dioxide out of it. So there might be some stuff that I want to do with biomass aside from the science, but we'll have to see how that goes. The blood, the extra blood, it only processes 10 at a time, so I'm going to need a few more of these potentially, depending on how much blood we're generating. And we're storing the blood because I think we're going to need that later for some other crap. And then all these trains are TSM based, because I figured it's just easier to do it. So it's and you have to do this is a 4-prong situation here. So these trains are dedicated to their little own separate yards. This can be copied and pasted. So, and that's the other goal here too. And if I need to, I'm most likely thinking I might have to copy paste this, because we may get other body parts that we're going to have to process and, make into biomass and stuff. So we'll have another yard of biomass kind of stuff, and maybe, more blood too, So if this thing becomes overwhelmed, well, right now I'm just handling what I have, so we can copy paste this. And you don't want your builds to get too big. So let's go over here. Oh, my car's over there. Gosh darn it. I pulled the molten salt over here that we were using to get rid of our biomass, but we have a new development. Biomass can be turned into powdered biomass. There is no recipe for powdered biomass. We have to throw it in here into a automated screener. So we get the fine powdered biomass, and then it kicks out powdered again, which we just cycle back through with a U-shaped belt, and then we kick out a little bit of biomass, 10% chance of that to get 6. We kick it back to this thing and reprocess it back to here. And the cycle kind of, will loop around. Then we take that fine powdered, and we get dried biomass. And that we can burn, but we can also use it for other stuff. And here is something we can use for biomass. And I brought this over here just as a reminder that we can take our ash, some biomass, urea, and seaweed, and make fertilizer. And fertilizer can get us better yield on some stuff. So I'm going to look into that as a separate build from here. So that's why I want a biomass train, because we want to be able to do that. Now, there are some other things we can do, usage. There's a lot of things we can do with biomass. Oh, there's other Coke recipes I'm looking at too for the future here. So this is weird. Bones you can use all this stuff to get fertilizer. Take the bones and the blood out and replace it with seaweed, and you get the same amount. I'm like, well, why wouldn't I use that one? So I want to use this one here to make the fertilizer. And if you look at this stuff, hey, we can make seaweed MK2 fertilizer, but this is a big rabbit hole right here. But I do want to get this MK2 seaweed, so I might work on that on an episode or something. Maybe I'll do a speed up on that. But I do want to get the MK2 seaweed. So that's one thing that fertilizer can do for us, as well as I think better moss yield. Here's a manure zogna bacteria, but this process is pretty involved. Flue gas, more flue gas, substrates. Here's the powdered biomass, subcritical water, which is a better recipe for that later, but it's more involved, that we can use for the logistics science pack. Better fish yield, and there's the carbon dioxide. 10 to 300. But I don't know, it's a 2 craft on that, so it's a little slow. But 300, I'll take it. And then we could do some aromatics, but refined syngas is pretty involved with the activated carbon. And then that's it. Bakelite, what the heck is that? Now, speaking of Coke, speaking of the low efficiency Coke stuff, I was looking at the Coke stuff again. I don't want to do red hot Coke for Coke because I don't want the coal dust out of that. We already have plenty. And this one here is kind of nice. If we have extra naphthalene, I might consider this one to get a little bit of Coke and some aromatics because, you know, it's good to have aromatics around. Now, the rabbit hole for coking gas, we're going to have to travel down that. But not right now because I'm trying to get the base independent, and then we can start doing some other crazy stuff. But look at that. 500 coking gas plus 40 coke for this thing. I'm down for that. Here's our pitch one. Here is the residual mixture plus vacuum. Look, more coking gas, residual oil, and coke. So this is another version of that other one, and we get more coke. So you can see that there is a better recipe here, but for now I got to use that one because I just want to make sure I have the coke on hand. Here's a tar plus vacuum. Not as much coke, but we get heavy oil, which is kerosene. So I like that one. If we tap more tar, I would consider that. And this is a very inefficient one, but the whole point of this is coal gas. And there's the one we're using. Very inefficient, but it works. And we get this one, coal plus filtration media. Now, we might need the phenol for later, so that's something we'll put in our back pocket. Okay, so I think I've covered everything, and I'm really happy with the results here so far. I'm just trying to plan for the future here with all this biological crap we're going to get. We've got to build now. We have this for any biological material that we're going to need to sort and manage. And we're going to have the ability to make all kinds of cool stuff from that biomass. And also, now we have the ability, a consistent delivery system to get that meat. And that's what inspired this whole thing. How much meat do I got? 3,300. We need the meat for our Nexalate stuff. You know, this guy or these guys right here. 37,000. They haven't been really chewing up much meat. That's good. Okay. So yeah, I pulled this meat down here just because there's so much of it, and I tapped it in there. But yeah, eventually they'll eat all this meat, and then we'll have that system ready to go. Okay, let's get started on those warm bricks. I hope you enjoyed the base update and all the cool stuff we're doing here. I mean, I'm really excited, man, about the LTN and getting crazy with this stuff. It's fun. I'm having a blast trying to figure this stuff out and implementing it. It's working out pretty well, and you know, pYanodons is testing every last thing that I've got in my brain at any given time. So I feel like I'm finally running on all 8 cylinders here. So I'm really excited. Oh, this is some stuff I was playing around with just to try and figure out some signals and whatnot. And you know, I was like, what do I do here? Originally, I was gonna do 200, but I changed that to 500. And this is a fluid thing I was looking at, so this stuff can come out. This is a provider and a requester. Yeah, so I'm going to pull this mess out of here as well. Don't need this anymore. Those are my little I was trying to get my brain wrapped around on it. That's how I built all that stuff there. Putting stuff down, theory crafting, thinking about it, eating dinner, watching some videos, coming back to it. You know, it's kind of like studying. You have to take little breaks and stuff. All right, let's get started on those warm bricks. We got to get that done. I'm so excited. See you over there. All right, here we are. I went ahead and put this in first because, you know, save some time a little bit here. Try and get organized. Okay, so we have coke oven gas at 250 degrees already. However, it only runs if we use carbon dioxide or the coke from that build. We're going to deplete that. We're going to use that over, because we already have it, right? So we have this build here that is coke to coke oven gas, I think, or is it raw coal? What is this here? Yeah, recipe. Yeah, it's raw coal to coke and then coke oven gas. So we're going to burn the coke up in our plant here, and then whatever, if we run out of coke, we're going to have the fuel train for this. So we got to bring a fuel train in, because this isn't enough to keep this going here. And we're trying to bring our, all the resources we can in here for this thing. Okay, so I'm going to speed this section up so you guys can just kind of watch it and enjoy. Oh my god. This build makes my head spin. There's so much back and forth going on. Oh dear. Okay. Well, I'm trying to, give myself room just in case I have a screw up. It's the first time I've done the warmer brick one, and, also we're bringing the trains in, and there's all this stuff going on. I put the molten salt back in here, so we have it. I do have a hot air tank down here of 18,000. You know what? I think I'll bring that over. But let's pull that over now. Okay, I lost some hot air, 17,000. I don't know why. Oh, it's in this pipe here. All right, so the hot air is in 17,000. I figure, might as well, put it in there. I mean, it's not free. Okay, so trying to think of how I want to go first, second. Oh, I need some bricks. Let's go. Oh, I'll just grab them onto this train and I'll send the train up there. Save me some time. We're going to need a lot. I'm going to take these for now. All of them. Oh, so here's the buffer case for that. And we definitely want enough. We want enough in the case because, well, it's going to buffer this up here too. So we need enough in the case to keep this whole system running. Okay, there we go. And we'll keep adding as we go. And we'll put that many in there. Yeah, it's going to fill all this up, and then that's the shock absorber there. Okay, so now what I wanted to do was deplete the 250 stuff first. So let's go ahead and call that in. I set it up to the coke oven gas here. And 20,001 train, all that. Disable warnings. So all we got to do is set this up with the wires. And it should call. There we go. Oh, too far. So you are going here. Yep, there we go. Oh, what? Wait a minute. Why is that? Oh, I'm clicking on the wrong one. I want to click on you. There we go. So it's going here because that's in the... Oh, it's probably closer is what it is. Okay. All right, there it is. Let's see what happens here. I'm kind of curious. We have... Now that's the 250. Oh, yeah, this started up right here. There we go. Cool. There we go. Ooh, that's pretty good. That's pretty... That's a good amount. This is what? 5 to 5. Okay. 8-second craft. Now, that's going to deplete into the system here. And we do have a loss. So I'm kind of curious how that's going to work in the entire grand scheme of things here. And I'm requesting, yeah, once it drops to 5,000. So we'll let that run. Now, I don't want to flow this just yet. You know, I'm going to hold off. Okay. These things are loud. Now, let's get this going. And that goes to our warmer bricks. And we need, we need the 100 degree. Oh, no, we need the 500 degree. Okay. And that's where this is coming from here. Now, the fuel is a backup system to this. And this is our coke oven gas at 250 as well. All right. Okay, there that goes. Let's make sure it's doing its thing. There we go. Okay. Okay, got our warm stone bricks in there. And we need the 500. Yeah. Oh, I should go over... What happened here? Why are you out? 200. Oh! This right here is backed up. Who knew? Okay. So we have the 100 backing up. So it can't export anything. And these have the 200. Yeah, they have the gas in there. The coke oven gas at 100 now. So yeah, this does need to be keyed up in order to get that going. I probably should put a shock absorber tank here right off of that see how that goes. I wanted to highlight this. So what I'm doing is this is a top-up valve here, underflow, when flow is under 80%. So this is a backup to this because we want to use our coke oven gas from the network, you know. And that is at 16,000. Okay. So this is going to give us the 250 gas. Okay, this is weird. I'm looking at this thing. We have coke oven gas in here at 100 degrees. If you mouse over the output ingredients here, it's saying we have 0. I don't understand that, but it's here. I don't know what the heck's going on with that. Okay, so we need to get this up and running, and the way we're going to do that is I think we'll have to call in the coke train. I was kind of hoping to... Well, I was hoping to not use the coke train right away, but we'll do it, you know. Okay, so we have a rock hole. Yeah. So all we got to do is set this up here. Kudos to the commenter. Told me that this C copies the resource over to the thing there. I was like, no way. I didn't even know what that did. There's no, you know, documentation isn't very good on mods, you know. Okay, here we go. Here it is. Let's see what happens here. Uh-oh. Oh! Oh, something got in here. I got ash on here because I pulled the train in. Oh! Oh, I gotta put filter inserters on, or filters on this because that train came in. Yeah, that's fine. We could do that. Oh, look at that. It's right there. Okay, there we go. So there's ash on here. Okay, there's the coke. Ah, can't get through. That's gonna chew up a lot of raw coal, but what I'm hoping is that we'll be running off of this more than the other one. Well, the other system has got higher value fuel. There we go. All right, we got it now. Okay. Kaboom. Seems like it's spinning up. There we go. Now, yeah, the spin up here is going to be interesting. How is this? 1016. Okay, that's backed up on this. That might be a good thing. Yeah. Okay. Okay, now it's rolling. Molten salt, because this thing has got to run. It's got to... Oh, I forgot about the ash. Gosh darn it. That's why I need an ash pickup train. I could do it here. Let's go like this for now. I'll go here. Silly me. There we go. Yeah, great. Yeah, that's why I gotta get that ash recovery train up and running. Okay, you can see that the coke is kind of farting out a little bit. The salt is slow. I might have to add another one of these just to get that consistency here. Uh-oh. Yep, my fuel's running out. Okay. Looks like it's going. Cool. Well, that's actually surprising. Ha! Alright, I gotta run down and turn this alarm off here. Okay. So, yeah, I got that alarm shut off now. Yeah, I have to get the niobium set up. Well, once we get the fuel thing squared away, then I can hopefully put that to rest. Alright, so we ran out of fuel. And that means we don't have the salt. So we'll have to bring in our carbon-based fuel system here. Now, I'm using I'm using this anything signal. I hope it works. We'll find out. Wait a minute. Is that right? Wait a minute. Okay, it's not triggering. If anything is less than 2, I'll put an A. Why are you not working? So, these signals don't make any sense. Well, there we go. So this is if all input signals meet the condition, meaning anything is less. So everything is less than 2,000. So we'll see. And that one is coming from our carbon-based fuel. That's what started this whole mess. And then I started seeing other crap I had to do. There we go. So that's straight coal. There we go. Cool. I just spam the mini loaders down because I'm so sick and tired of having slow stuff. I want things done, you know. Okay, there we go. Now we'll fill that up. And yeah, I'll have to get the ash I'll get the ash reclaim train done and off screen. So there we go. Oh, what the hell? Okay, yeah, that's right. So now let's see, we got coal dust and coarse coal in here now. And that'll get chewed up. It doesn't matter what goes down this belt. This thing will eat anything, you know. Anything carbon based. Here we go. Okay. Now I wonder, hopefully it won't be acting on just the coal. Or I mean, just, hopefully it's acting on any one. We'll see. We'll have to see. So if it shuts off on the coal, being 2,000. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's not what I want. Okay, it shut off. Good. So if coal drops, it'll bring more crap. And that's kind of what I want. And, you know, if it prioritizes coal, fine, I don't care. See, we're going to get these little bits and bobs in here. It'll burn off eventually there. Okay. So there we go. Okay, now, this one is running a little low, I noticed, so we'll put a bunch more bricks in here. Be on the safe side. Okay. Oh, I got to do radar, and that should be able to cover it all right here. Yep. Yeah, I'm not too happy about this mess, but it's either move this over so this moves over, you know. The problem is the trains, they take up so much room, and I got to skip an area in order for a 1-1 train to fit in here, a 1-1-1 train. So I have to skip. So, you know, if I put one here, I mean, I can do it. It's just you got to chain this up then, because you don't want a train sitting here blocking things, because the train could come in and leave and you get problems. That's why I'd rather spread out, you know, so we don't have problems. Okay, so looks like we're running. Everything is good to go. 29,000. I hope this is enough. Now, the reason it's wide like this, another reason why I widen it out, is because I want to make sure that we have enough room to expand it up. Because these are slow processes here. All this stuff is slow. So, and I might be overkill on the tanks, but, you know, that's okay too. Oh, let's see. Do I want to tank this up? Well, we're backing up. That's good. Yeah, that's good. Cool. Yeah, and then we have, oh, it's 13,000 now. So it is, see how it's consuming it. Slowly but surely it's consuming it. And here we have the top-up valve just kind of sitting here, and the coke is not running at all. So we got this guy running here, and that's the only consumer. So, yeah, all right, cool. This is very daunting. You know, there's a lot of back and forth going on and a lot of checks and balances, but it's fun to do, though. I got to put the hot air on the network eventually, but, you know, I'll get to that. All right, cool. Success. Let's get away from these loud things. And, you know, once I'm going to run this with iron and test it, do some more building off site. Well, I think next episode we're going to get that iron going, because I want to get this tested under load. And iron is the, man, I tell you, you know, you could tell. Let's see, I grabbed some stuff. All you got to do is grab like 10 mini loaders, and this whole base is just sucked dry. Look at this. Look at this, man. Yeah, I just went and got pipe and stuff, and this whole thing is just chewed up. Granted, this is only 5 iron plate a second, though. But I want to see this new system up and running with the stone bricks the best way to do it is we get that set up, and then I can do some other building off screen, you know, and I can test those systems out, and then, you know, present any updates that I have to it and any tweaks that I've had to make, which I enjoy doing that kind of stuff. Okay, we got hot bricks finally. I know I don't want to over promise and under deliver for you guys. I know I've been talking about the hot bricks for a while, but the Hydra from that belt base just got out of control. I was like, oh, I got this. So it went to the tar processing and, you know, the shale oil processing. That had to go first. I wasn't thinking. I put iron plate and hot bricks in front of that, and then I thought, oh wait, no, I need coke, I need this, I need that, I gotta get this tar stuff out of here. So it just kind of changed, you know, is all that happened. But yeah, I'm happy with how it's been going though. All right, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.